Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm great. How old are you?
33.
33. All right. So, why'd you come on saying, ha ha ha, what's up?
Oh, I didn't even know you saw that. So literally, as soon as I pressed request, then I got accepted.
Okay. So, uh, would you rather be right or would you rather have a man or do you plan on living with a woman for the rest? And living with a woman till the end?
And those are my only three options that I have to answer, right?
Well, either you're going to have a man, but if you got to be right, you ain't going to have a man. So if you don't have a man,
Being
you're either going,
being
either you're going to live by yourself. That means you got to be rich, or you're going to live with a woman.
got it. So if those are my three options, then being right is not necessarily what I would put as top priority. But it's just that it feels like you're forcing me into a box.
Yeah, it's called
Because what if I
complaining.
wanted to live with a cat? I'm just saying. There are other
Um,
options, right?
Not really, because regardless of what sort of animal you decide to live with, the point is, what is your ability to live with a man? Like most women, like women of other races, can tend to cohabit with their men. What you gonna do?
I mean, I would love to cohabitate with my man if when and so being right all the time seems like that would be something that would not have me cohabitate with anyone. You have to be able to compromise and being right is not necessarily important. That's not something that you should prioritize.
It shouldn't be, but how often do you realize that when I go back and forth with women, they need to be right?
First off, I am one of those women who are in support of women. So
You're a
I
feminist.
understand.
You're a feminist.
No, please don't put me in a box, Mr. Samuels.
I'm gonna. No, see. First of all, I need you to back up off the camera and recognize I'm talking to another adult, and adults realize that things get put in boxes. We don't do this over here. Everything is subjective and variable, and everybody's a special snowflake. There are general things that are generally true, and if that's not what we're going to do, then we can't have a conversation because there's nothing to be talked about.
Okay, so then no.
You're a
I
supporter
would
of
not
women.
consider
You're a
myself.
supporter of women. What does that mean?
That means that I understand where women are coming from when they talk to you the way they do.
Really?
Um, I get it. I get it. I would not. I think that we or the women that I've seen speaking to you maybe getting in their, getting emotional about things.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand why people could get emotional.
Yeah, because they're wrong.
I just
Generally because they're wrong and they're losing the argument.
or maybe something that they haven't identified about themselves is, being triggered and they may not understand what that is.
Either way, wrong, not win. People who are winning an argument don't typically get in their emotions. Because see, I get spoken to by several groups of women,
Right.
but the women you tend to folks who tend to focus on are the ones that are combative and argumentative.
Well, I'm sorry, I can't see. I really did not expect. So, okay, so
Mars Blackman.
back to the original back or where do we go now? Where do we go
Where's
from here?
Michael
I
Jordan at,
understand.
man? I saw you on this Nike commercial back in 1984. That was the shit.
You jumping, you go.
No, seriously though. Seriously, you say you're a supporter of women. I'm a
Yes.
big supporter of women.
Oh, I think you know what? I
No,
really
I'm a
believe
supporter
that
of
in my
women. I'm a
heart.
supporter of your rightful place.
Okay.
Where is that?
I would like to know what you think too. I mean, my right
No.
place.
Where is it, woman's? Where is it? Are you a Christian? It's a yes or no question.
I grew up Christian.
Are you a Christian? I mean, are you still a Christian? Are you a practicing Christian or not?
No.
All right. What is a woman's place on the planet then?
thriving and surviving. I mean, I don't, you know what? Your questions are so.
What can a woman survive? What can a single solitary woman survive on her own in nature?
Mm. I mean, I guess if that's the case, then we need a partner to continue life.
You cannot, no. When I ask you where is a woman's natural place in society, you say thriving and surviving. And the next question I ask you is, where can a woman do that on her own? And you contradict that point, meaning your point isn't thriving and surviving. Your point is under your men. Because without us, you can't survive. Without you, we simply can't reproduce.
Well, what if I mean, so in order to survive, that means that I would need to learn how to grow my food, drink, get water, set up some traps or something so that something.
Okay, so let's start with number one: 3 minutes without air, 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food. Do you know how to build a fire?
Yes.
Okay,
well,
so
okay,
what state do you live in?
I have a tool. There are tools.
What state do you live in?
Michigan.
Michigan. Detroit area?
Yes.
All right, so if all the water stopped shut down right now, where would you go get water?
I would have to go up north to the fresh lakes, to the lakes.
Okay.
It's a lot of lakes around here.
Mm-hmm. And how far is that from?
The freshest lake that I would drink from, maybe 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours to get water. Okay. You go drive 2.5 hours. All right. Now the power grids and everything else shut down. No man's running it. It's just women. You go out there and you get the water. Then what do you do with it after you acquired the water? What do you do with it?
I would drink it. I would store it.
And you would die.
Why, Mr. Samuels?
Well, you tell me. You think you can just drink lake water? Yes, you do. Yeah, and you would die. The microbes, the bacteria will kill you.
Okay. But why are we going so survivalist with this right now?
Because it's the point of you women you can't survive without us because you can't even get the basic things. You can breathe because the creator is giving you enough oxygen. But water and food, you said I would have to get my own water, grow my own food. Before you could even grow your food, you die of thirst in 72 hours because as soon as you drove 2.5 hours up to the lake, burning up your gas, burning up your finite resources, you go to the lake, take the water, and because men have civilized the world in general, y'all just think, just drink. And as soon as you do that, you be dead. The microbes, the bacteria, knock you out.
Oh my gosh, Mr. Samuels.
Man, I've just shown you, just like so many women, you guys, because you can turn on a light, you don't realize that you need us for survival. It is not even your instinct to think about how, your instinct is just this, women's natural instinct is to say, there's water, is the water safe? Is the water potable? Y'all don't even think this anymore.
Yeah, but you know what? I think there's a lot of men, especially like.
And I was about to say exactly. Here's what she's gonna do next. She's gonna say, "Well, men do it too." See, here's the thing: if the man were to drive up 2 hours, there'd be another man with him saying, "You can't drink that." We understand how to manipulate. Listen, man. Understand.
Look, I don't want you to think I don't need you. I need you.
It's not. So when I said that woman's natural place is under her men, not thriving and surviving. Your place is with us, or else you don't live.
Okay.
Don't say all men, don't say all women. I'm going to say all men, I'm going to say all women. Because the bottom line is this. Women have gotten to a place in the world to where you honestly, men are to you guys, it's like almost a luxury until you realize that unless you're making enough money to replace 2 incomes, how are you going to get from the age of 65 to 85? Do you have enough money to survive? Or, like most women, the government, somebody will do it for us. Men live in a world that we know that nobody's coming to save us.
Okay. I have no issue with saying that women need men But I just, I mean, I would agree. I would disagree with you when you say that you don't need us and you just need us to reproduce. I mean, that's a
We
continuation
don't
of
need you to
how you would.
survive.
That's
We
how
don't need
you
you to
would.
survive.
Okay.
That's why I said we don't need you to survive. See, why am I making this point? Because many
Yeah.
modern women think men are a luxury instead of a
No.
necessity. I said many modern women think men are a luxury because you have a job and because you could earn money. But women who think like this, their man is the government, the system. If someone were to come to their house, their apartment, whatever, and to try to enter it, the first thing they would do is pick up the phone and dial 911. They would not expect a woman to show up. They would expect a man to come. If it was on fire, they'd call the fire department. They would not expect a woman to show up. They'd expect a man to come. Everything that a man used to do has been outsourced just because you could pay for it. So now it's like, well, I'll only pick a man that I like. He has to be this, he has to be that, instead of having a man for survival. The average woman earns what in this country? Less than $30,000.
Okay.
So even if you take in our community, let's say the average woman, let's just say for sake of argument, $50,000, and that's high. How does a woman get from one part of life to the end of life on a $50,000 income after retirement?
Am I supposed to? I just feel like you have the answer for everything.
Well, I want to know. She's made $50,000 every year. In 65, she has to retire. How does she go from 65 to 85?
I mean, there's multiple ways to make streams of income. Like I pride myself on how many streams of income I have. Like there's so many
I just said
options.
she made $50,000, man. Like most women don't have multiple streams of income. Most people have one stream of income. It's a job. She made 50,000 off of however many streams, 50,000, and that's almost twice as much as the average woman makes. At 65, retirement age, how does she live the next 20 years?
It's just so many options. You can invest your money. You can like right now, crypto is a great game to hop in.
You're not getting it. You're not getting it. If she's made
Okay.
$50,000, she's able to pay her rent, mortgage, a car note. She's living effectively paycheck to paycheck. Ma'am, in Detroit, you are not living high on the hog at $50,000. There's no investments at $50,000. It's paycheck to paycheck. It's $1,000 a week.
Right, but what I'm saying is she can take some of that money, right? That she doesn't have to spend all of that money that
Yes,
she's
she
making
does.
paycheck to paycheck.
Okay, let's talk about it. How much? Okay,
No,
the
because you would
average,
have to live below your means so that you
ma'am,
can save.
how many people making $50,000 a year in this country have investments?
I mean, I don't know, Mr. Samuels. I don't know
What
how
I'm
many
telling
people
you is,
know
what I'm
that there are.
showing you, and that's my point is, the average cost to live, that is why you need two incomes, because it is
Okay.
physically impossible to get enough money post-retirement on one salary. So if a woman is making $50,000, even if she has an apartment and it's $1,500 a month, that's $18,000 a year in a car note. At $50,000, you're bringing home after taxes, what, 35, 36? That's $3,000 a month. If your rent is 30 to 40% of that, car, utilities, groceries, health, and insurance, you're not getting rich. It's paycheck to paycheck, effectively the working poor. And that means if nothing happens and she just has to retire, she's not had any, can't invest any money if you're living paycheck to paycheck. There's no investments. So that means when the income stops, where's the next 20 years of money going to come from? And what you're showing is that we don't know. We're not planning for it. We don't have enough.
I think that, I mean, people know there are women, there are multiple people who know how to live below their means. There are people who know how to, get into real estate or things
Man, what's the
that,
average net worth of what's the average? What is the average net worth of a 40-year-old black woman in this country?
40-year-old. Oh, so
40-year-old
six.
black woman in this country. What's her net worth?
I don't know. 60,000. I'm guessing.
$5.
Wait. What? Wait. What?
1, 2, 3, 4, $5.
Oh, net worth. Gotcha. Okay, that's
Five.
terrible.
It's reality. In the black community, our dollar circulates less than 6 hours. In the next community, it circulates 7 days. Ma'am, what I'm saying is to women, you cannot afford to not have a man. You're going, unless you're making $125,000 or more from age 35 on through, you're not going to have enough money to invest, to save, to do anything, to have any kind of retirement. And that's the point, because the world has told women you can have everything and that the end will never come. Women tend to think, just like the water example, that it's simple. It's not. If you make $50,000 as a woman by yourself, women cost more as they age. This is why our community is jacked up, and our women, due respect, the questions I'm asking really shouldn't be hard, but because no one's made our women sit down and run the numbers of, all right, if you're not gonna be with a man, you're gonna have a cat. Who's gonna pay the bills? You and your cat, who's gonna pay the bills? Fair question, right?
Me and my man that I need.
No. But you got a cat or a dog. You can't. You've chosen a cat or a dog. You can't cooperate with a man.
Listen, I didn't know how far we could take it, but if I'm gonna operate in your rules and in your, in your world, then I'm willing to do that. I just thought that there could be another option. That's all.
There could be another what?
I just thought that there could be
my
another
point
option.
my point is, man, unless you are a high earning woman, being with a man is not optional if you want to live to the end of retirement. It's not optional. Unless you're making over 6 figures, where are you gonna get your money from 60 plus?
I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted in the comments.
Why are you looking in the
correct.
comments?
Listen, hey, I guess it's just popping up like crazy, all the hearts and everything like that. Thank you for that.
The hearts of the points I'm making about y'all haven't thought about this.
There were a lot of different comments all over the place. I'm laughing.
Okay, all right. You're talking. I'm running the show and I'm not looking at the comments.
Okay.
I'm trying to have a serious conversation for the. How old are you? 30 what?
So listen.
How old are you? I don't remember. How old are you? How old are you?
33.
33. So what do you do for a living?
I record audiobooks. I work for a tech company. I manage social media. I do gigs.
When's the last time you held a W-2 job?
I currently hold a full-time
a 40-hour week W-2 job.
Yes, presently.
All right. Are you making in excess of $100,000 a year?
No.
Are you making less than $75,000 a year?
No. Yes. I don't know. I'm doing my taxes this week though, and that's the goal. I'm close. So for everyone to know.
So the bottom line comes down to this. The bottom line comes down to this. How much, if you never marry, how much money, if you never were to marry, how much money would you
frozen,
need?
Mrs.
No, you're frozen. I'm okay. I got 5 bars over here.
I'm frozen. Hold on.
If you were never to marry, okay. All right. I don't know what happened there. The bottom line comes down to this. So here I go. You back? You're back.
Can you hear me? If I were never to marry, that's all I can hear. That's all I heard.
If you were never to marry, and you had to retire at 65 and you lived to 85, how much money would you need from 65 to 85?
How much money is that? You said it. You've said this number before.
Yeah.
You said something the other day about $1 million, but then we were.
But I'm asking you, at 33, how much do you think? How much do you think you need?
From 65 to 85 to retire. Let's just say, so what's that? 20 years. And I'm like not that much of a, so let's just say I would need like grand or 50 grand a year to live off of for 20 years. So then what's that? Like $1 million? Forgive me, I don't know. What's the math?
Well, if you were making $50,000, that's $1 million. And the average $50,000, so that's what I just said. The average $50,000 a year earner will not have $1 million to retire on.
Okay.
They can't make enough. There are no investment vehicles. And you need at least 1.6 to 2.4 because you have to adjust for inflation. There's not enough money to put in the vehicles. See, there's no way to overcome the math. You won't have enough to retire on. I'm trying to, ladies, understand something. Understand something. You have been allowed to go into the world to not have to take it seriously. To be, I'm a this, I'm a that, I'm a this, I'm a that, and robbing people to pay Paul. And at the end of the day, making money, not investing anything. And unless you, and if you're not going to be with a man and really build with a man, and how do you plan on getting your $1.8 million that you're going to need at age 65 to retire? And at $70,000 a year, at $70,000 a year, you won't have it either.
Well, I have a question though. So say there are women who have, who are currently investing and putting money into different vehicles, and they just so happen to fall short of that $1 million, like, so what? Like what? So I guess I just feel like
I don't understand what we, so, no, okay. Why does asking about what happens if this woman does have it and doesn't work, does that make you sleep better at night? I'm talking about women like
everything so doom and gloom.
No, I make everything so grown goddamn real. That's what I do. And that's one thing that we used to do in our community, deal with reality. And our women, sorry, are delusional. Delusional to the point to where you think that understanding the math of life is doom and gloom. To telling black women the truth that 200 pounds is fat, you are being mean and toxic. We are to the place in our community by simply being honest. You want black men to be canceled. This is how far we've fallen, people. It's doom and gloom to talk about retirement planning. It's doom and gloom. Okay, then. If we never talked about it, would it be better to never talk about it? And then you look up and you're 55 years old and you've got $30,000 saved up, $50,000 saved up, $100,000 at the end of your career, at the peak of your earning potential. Because it's nobody's responsibility.
Forgive me, I'm on my non-invested internet. It keeps freezing. So
are you on Wi-Fi?
I appreciate the
Are you on Wi-Fi?
Yes, I am on Wi-Fi.
Turn off your Wi-Fi.
Yes.
Just go to cellular.
Oh, really?
See, one of the things I find interesting, folks, is this is what you hear. A man who sits down and talks about verifiable facts, data, statistics. It's doom and gloom. So what are we saying? That are we saying that it's better to allow black women to live in blissful ignorance? To not talk about it?
No. What I'm saying is that putting forth the effort and having these conversations so that women do know, or everyone knows to invest in these things and to try to have numbers and have goals set to hit.
Everybody knows what you said? Okay.
No. I didn't say everyone knows. I'm saying that the conversation and having the conversation is much needed and much appreciated. The reason that I said doom and gloom is because it seems like if we don't hit that $1,000,000, then
It's
everything is
not,
over.
ma'am. The point is, you're trying to do what. If you choose to not be with a man, 1 in 4 black women will marry. The reason women marry is for financial security. 1 in 4 of our women will marry. That means those 3 out of 4 that don't better make the money that 2 people would have made, or else they are going to die alone on the street. There is no government coming to save you. Social Security will be gone. And see, this is what's doom and gloom. I'm asking, all right, if every other woman in every other race of woman is married at a rate of 54% or higher because they know I don't make enough money to live this life by myself. Black women chosen to not marry. So what is your plan for the rest of life? And now that you're just simply asking, acknowledge your choice. You don't want to marry, you want to be by yourself. You can't be an average earner, because what you're really saying is somebody's supposed to come save me for my choices. See, as a man were to do that, I'm going to be an average earner, not have enough money to retire on, because I can't cooperate with a woman or whatever. You know what's waiting for him? The street, the park, a tent. It's a serious, sobering reality that our women are not where they're supposed to be with their men, building, saving, planning for the end of life, because so many black women act like modern children. Like, it's hot girl summer and I'm a black don't crack, and even though I'm 40 years old, I look like I'm 20. You're 40. And you're not planning for life, to where even talking about the stuff that we should be talking about in high school is doom and gloom. Who's going to pay the price for it, though? Who's going to pay the price for not knowing these things?
We all are going to pay the price.
No, women will. Oh, no, black women will pay the price for it. Nobody else. Black women will pay the price for it. Because you got to admit, you've been told, or you tell the world that you don't need, whether not you, the message that the average black woman communicates is, I don't need no man. Fine, then you better earn what you better earn his income, because you do need a man.
You're talking about the image, the image.
I'm saying you need a man. You need 2 incomes. Okay. To get through the end of life. And if you're gonna say I don't need a man, and you got 1 income, that income better be 120,000+, because you can't do it on what most women make. It's simple math. So, and why is this all important? Because when you start getting down to what's important, this whole notion of being right, and he has to be tall, and sex got to be good, and all that other kind of shit. This is a matter of either living on the street and eating cat food, or actually having a comfortable life from retirement to your grave. And we're starting to see the first group of women living like this. Homeless. Dying alone. How old is your mother?
61.
Your aunts?
61.
Are all the women in your family married?
No, they're not.
Are any of them independently rich or wealthy?
Yes, yes.
Okay. And are any of them just average middle income earners?
Yes.
Do you know how they're going to retire?
I mean, you're not going to like my answer. My answer is full of optimism and sunshine, so.
What's that? Either they made enough money or they didn't.
See, there you go. Doom and gloom. There's family, there's love, there's friends, there's.
Oh, so it's somebody else's responsibility. So it's the person that did make enough money to come dig your grown ass out.
No, my goodness gracious.
What does that mean? Family.
That means
if this person over this pig built his house of straw. This pig built his house of of wood. This pig built their house of stone. So it's the stone pig responsibility for the wood and the twig pig. That's what
No.
you're saying. That's what you're saying. That it's this person over here who made fastidious choices to take this responsibility. I'm saying this because I'm actually seeing it in my family right now. I got aunts that are dying alone, broke, penniless, bad, off.
Oh man. But see,
And
look,
they're the norm. And they're the
nephew,
norm.
nephew,
No,
don't you want?
no, don't give me that bullshit.
Oh,
Nephew, my ass. Grown damn women who are rebellious their entire lives and still rebellious to this day. You need a car. Here's a car. Oh, I don't like that car. It's too big. It's a free car.
you know what?
Stop. Stop. Here's a free car. Person who ain't worked 20 years and can't do nothing and still rebellious. That is our culture. You can't even say nothing because you know it's true.
Well, I'm waiting. Can I say something? I just had this conversation with my best friend about values, right? Because we were talking about how values can be, how people in a relationship have different values, and identifying those values, can help as far as if the relationship can, be compromised, be healthy, just like completely eliminating toxicity in the relationship if you can identify these values. And I think that you may not value love as
I don't give a
much
shit
as
about love.
but
And neither did my
come on,
grandparents. They didn't
huh?
care about love. They cared about survival, duty, and respect. We care too much about stupid shit like love. That's why, excuse me, that's why black women are the last to marry, the lowest married. And when you do marry, you marry less than 5 years about love. It ain't about love. It is about, would you rather have responsibility and duty and get your ass from one end to the life to another? Here's what, y'all can worry about love. Y'all can deal with these Disney notions.
No,
But
listen, I'm sorry.
I'm just gonna say, let me
Listen,
finish this. Y'all can deal with those Disney notions. Our grandparents didn't worry about love. They needed something else. Go
I'm
ahead.
not talking about love. I'm talking about altruistic love. Love that is all about caring about well-being, not romantic, lovey-dovey love. Yeah, I get that. Fuck that
What do you
love.
mean
That love
altruism? What altruistic love from who?
from the people that are around you. That like, I'm saying like a familial love. Like
You
that's
need
why I
a
called you
family for
nephew.
that.
That's why I called you nephew, because you was talking about your
You,
niece. You was talking about your
no,
aunties
no,
down
no, no,
alone.
no, 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 no. A nephew is not responsible for his aunt who chose to be rebellious. See, that's not what that means. You don't get to go muck up your life and then go to somebody else just because you share a last name and DNA. Because if my uncle had done that, he couldn't go to his niece and get it. See, y'all, black men do not exist to fix your mistakes. If you could
Okay.
not come under cooperation and leadership with a man during your life, don't come asking us to fix it now that you're at the end.
No. Well, okay. Okay.
Because these very same people, when you try to give them advice, hey, what are you going to do about retirement? I actually had an aunt that passed, and I was like, you know what? You have no children. You never married. I'm concerned. Why don't you get a job, such and so forth? Oh, I ain't got all these jobs ain't offer me what I think I should get. You need money. Now, you smoke a pack of cigarettes a day. You keep some cigarettes. You keep some cigarettes, but you can't get no job. All right, then what happens? I can't afford it. My mom can't afford it. Peter, Paul, blah, 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 blah. What are you going to do if no one in the family? Well, if y'all ain't going to help me, I guess the Jesus house will be there. I'm sorry. So I got to go out and work myself, take from my family, take from my daughter, take from my future, because you got a grown person that don't want to do their part because of no. See, that is not the woman or the kind of woman that my grandmother or my great grandmother raised. They don't recognize these sorry ass women.
I can dig it. You're talking about self accountability and people being able to take responsibility for their own actions. That sounds great.
Grandmother and grandfather did not have romantic love. They needed one another. And in our culture, women have been saying that they don't need the men, and that's only cool. It's only true if you make enough money to replace his income. You can't say you don't need a man if you don't make enough money to replace that income, because when it's over, where's the money going to come from? And the thing is, many women in our culture have not thought about it, because it's always been something there. The government, the system ain't got nothing left.
It's the system. You know who I'm being when I say that?
I'm just saying. I mean, and I'm joking, but I'm like, when you're 33 years old, do you ever want to be married? Whether you do or don't. If you don't, how you plan on getting to the end of life? That's all I gotta ask.
With a whole lot of love and hope and praying and everything. Like, but honestly, like,
Prayer ain't got nothing to do with this.
Look,
You just said you weren't even a Christian. Pray to who?
Pray to God and my ancestors and everybody. And
hold on, but you're not a Christian. Which God? No, stop. I asked if you were a Christian. You said no. So pray to who?
God, spirit.
Which God? Which God?
The universe, the whole collective that we are, that we exist in.
Flip it, put it on World Star. Are you serious?
Oh,
your
I'm
ultimate.
dead.
I know you are. I know, and that's scary. Well, that is tremendously scary.
Well, I have my mother is praying for me, my Christian mother and grandmother, and all the Christian women and men that came before me in my family. They have all covered me with a Christian love.
Jesus Christ, we have failed. Oh my God. And the sad part is, she was dead ass serious. I'm going to need our women, at least 10% of y'all, to start shepherding the other 90% into seriousness. Are you a Christian? I was raised Christian. Are you a practicing Christian? No, I'm not a Christian anymore. 20 minutes later, do you want to get married? All right. Then how do you plan on getting to the end of retirement on your income, since you got 75 different streams of income? And I didn't even press that, guys. I just let her say she made 75 plus. I didn't press it. I just accepted it. Even though my bullshit detector was going up, I didn't press it. And what did she say? I'm going to get there with a lot of familial love, a bunch of other unmarried women, and a bunch of prayer. How insulting is that to your higher power? God only exists to... This is why when so many women talk about they're Christians or religious, I don't believe the modern woman, because God is basically a Santa Claus. You're here to give me what I want. Cut it, clip it, put it on World Star. Y'all saw that shit. Are you serious? It is doom and gloom to talk about, you ain't gonna be with a man? Great. Then what's your plan? So I find it funny when people say, he hates women, you hate women. Really? The people who are telling you to buy their books and buy their courses, none of them is trying to talk to you about the kind and quality of life you're going to have. You want them to keep lying to you, so you can keep walking around acting like you got your shit together and it's okay. This is not okay.